So, in my opinion, Trina is kind of a complex soul. So I don't know how she's gonna. I, I don't know how she's gonna process this little information, but we'll talk about it. And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I want to pull my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What, Cookie? Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Love and Hip Hop Miami. This is season 3, episode 6. Dig this. First things first, we're back at this whole debacle, because that's what it ended up being, is a whole debacle of a boot camp that Trina tried to do. And now Nikki has actually turned on Trina and started screaming and yelling at Trina and barking at Trina, and Trina went completely off. She went off. And when they heard Trina going off, then all the girls came running, including Joy. I was like, oh, well, you ready to get done up now, Miss Nikki. Baby, when I tell you they got out there and Hood Baby was getting a little taste of her, and then you turned around and Suki was getting a little taste of her, but Sukiana ended up with her wig some kind of way. She had her wig. She standing up there looking ridiculous with her jacket on her head. I said, okay, this is just crazy. Then she started screaming and hollering about how they jumped her. They jumped me, this, that, thing, and the other. Well, I mean, see, it's one of them little situations where if you break out and you start calling out people, and you know, there's been a few times that I've known of folks who were in a bar and they holler out something real ridiculous like, I'll jack everybody up in here. And then they get their wish and everybody in there jacks them up. That's one of them things. You called for everybody, so they all showed up. Though I'm not a fan of jumping and stuff, but girl, listen, you pissed everybody off. So it just kind of was what it was. It ended up where the cops ended up having to be called. Trina's talking to Trick on the phone, and it was just a whole big mess. She was out there. Nikki was fighting the security and yelling at the producers. And she just is an issue. She's an issue. She's one that doesn't need to be on the show because she's an insurance risk. Somebody gonna jack her up. So that was that whole thing. Trina's like, I'm not doing it. It's over. I'm just done with it. I'm not putting my brand on the line messing with this. And that was that. Then we see Briscoe. We see he's staying in a hotel, is what it looks like. He's staying in a hotel. And he talks about trying to get back with his baby's mother. He ends up meeting up with her later on in the program. Very interesting meeting that they had. They met up. Her name is Cello. And they're talking about the relationship and what went on in the past and about him being gone and all of this kind of carrying on. And he starts downplaying his past and how he cheated on her and stuff. Well, she didn't take kindly to that. She didn't appreciate that. And she called him on it and basically told him, don't play with me. Do not play with me. You know what you did. I busted you with a whole chick. Like, stop playing. So he left that alone. He left that alone, and he starts talking to her. Here it is. They've been 12 years. They've been together. You know, they have stayed together for 12 years, and they broke up while he was in jail. But she left it out there and said, you know, maybe they can get together. She will give him a chance. I was like, girl, you better than me, honey. Better than me. But, you know, cool. Go for it. Go for it. Now, MJ, Shay, and Amara got together. And I'm looking. Shay look cute. She had these silver pumps, and I usually don't like silver pumps. Silver pumps usually look very like they're going to crack. That's what they look like they're going to crack. But you know, you're in Miami, so it's always hot for the most part. So I guess you do all right. Because if it gets too cold, baby, them silver pumps will crack like a piece of ice, honey. But shit, these silver pumps, black pants, and this black top that had one of the sleeves, had the whole little peekaboo thing going on, it had some stones on. It was cute. Hair was nice. She looked nice. She really did. I said, come on, little Agnes. You look nice. But they meet up. Her and then Amara's there. She didn't know Amara was there at first. It was her and MJ sitting there thinking they're going to have brother-sister time. Well, the other sister came in, and Amara sat down, and the two of them basically squashed their beef. And I'm still on it because I'm sitting looking at them, and I said to myself, got her. Got her. So now she done fired Julia, and you done got rid of JoJo as a friend. And you're now literally surrounded with, there ain't nobody but MJ and you and Shay. That don't look like a good combination to me. That looked like a setup, but whatever. She started talking to Shay about how she had to start everything over and how she got rid of Julian and all that. And they're all like, oh, well, this is good, this is good. I don't know, y'all, but something just ain't sitting right with me. I don't know. I don't know why I feel that way. Y'all let me know. Do any of you feel that way? Something just don't seem right. I don't trust this. I don't trust that. I don't trust them. Him and her, I don't trust them. But anyway, moving on. I ain't going to hang on it too much until I start seeing some stuff. So, Prima Donna and Trick actually met. Prima Donna was shooting a video. And wasn't that some interesting hair she had? I was like, that's very, it was interesting. It was interesting the way it was dyed and it had like all these different little colors. I was like, ooh, that's strange. But whatever, it worked for her. Prima Donna got a personality that's big. It worked for her. The only other person, Tokyo Vanity could have pulled that hair off too. And that, as a matter of fact, that's who came to mind when I looked at the hair. Like, that's something that Tokyo would have wore. But yeah, well, it didn't look bad. It just was strange. Anyway, Prima Donna and Trick, they got to talking, and they basically were talking about Jocelyn. And this is the thing, we still ain't seen Jocelyn. We still ain't seen Jocelyn, except for the few little times we seen her in the beginning of the season. Here we are 6 episodes in, and all we're getting is people talking about Jocelyn, and it just ain't a good look. It's like everybody's given that she's still just as messy and just as screwed up as she was. I'm like, come on, Jocelyn, you need to make an appearance and do something and not what everybody's saying, because this is not looking good at all. Anyway, Amara is actually setting up for a concert. She actually landed herself a concert, and she's being backed by Boost Mobile, so that was really, really cool. Trina came down to talk to her, give her some pointers about getting things started all over. She gave Trina the update, let her know, you know, I've broken ties with Julian and everything, and that, yeah, I'm having to set up everything on my own and all of that. Trina gave her some pointers and everything, told her that I know it's hard, but that's pretty much the best thing with Julian. We're going to see, and I'm sure, you know, after a minute, she'll be fine, but I don't know, because I just don't like who she surrounded herself with. But anyway, Trina gave her some pointers, and Trina told her about the boot camp and how it was such a big mess. And then Amara actually let Trina in on how badly the girls had showed off down at Briscoe's event. I was like, ooh, that's like the nails in the coffin, right? So we move on. Hood Baby actually reaches out to Trina, and she takes Trina to lunch. And she told her, you know, she was really sorry about how the things went to boot camp, and that she knows that her anger played a part in it, and that she has to really get that under wraps and all that. And Trina's like, yeah. And she's like, but me and the ladies, this was such a stepping stone, and this could have been such a great moment for us. And Trina's like, yeah, this is true. But Trina wasn't budging. She wasn't budging. But I said, you know, I think if they worked at Trina a little bit more, because Trina's not really all that hard. She's a pampered princess. But I don't think that Trina is a hard person. I think that, you know, she gets upset and she wants things her way. But if it doesn't go her way, I think she can actually be wooed. You see how her and Trick had that really big blow up, but then they ended up coming back together, and it didn't really take that long. So I don't see her as such a hard person, but she definitely is used to getting her way. But anyway, so she basically was like, no, it's not going to, it ain't going down. So then we have this scene where Amar meets up with JoJo. Amar, you're going to be right back where you started, because this is this whole thing. You're still in this race of trying to patch up the friendship with JoJo. You miss being with JoJo. Girl, you straddling the fence, and Lil Ugly is going to give you a hard time. I don't understand. I don't understand. It's either you're going to play the game their way, or you're not going to play the game. And MJ and Shay are trying to tell you that you're going to do what we tell you to do. And if you don't do what we tell you to do, you ain't going to do shit. Period. But girl, go ahead on. And then JoJo, JoJo ain't worth a quarter, because JoJo busts out and tells her, well, I used to talk to MJ. I said, oh, JoJo, like, girl, you seem kind of, she said she didn't have sex with him or anything like that, but you just seem kind of ran through, like, I don't know. I don't know that I want to be friends with her anyway. Anyway, at any rate, moving on. Sukihana, Chameleonaire, and Hood Baby got together, and they were together with Santana. Oh, crazy ass Santana, child. Period. Santana. But they were together, and he had told them and was, talking to them, and then he was like, y'all all got brands of your own, and y'all brands are popping. Y'all are all popping on Instagram. Y'all got followers. Why don't y'all try to do it yourself? And they're like, yeah. Because they, Hood Baby was telling them, Trina said no. And he's like, why don't you go ahead and y'all try doing it yourself? Then I looked and I was like, that's what drew me to my question. I said, Trina, I think if they kept working at Trina, the three of them, that Trina would flip over and be like, okay, come on, let's do it. I don't know how Trina's going to accept this, though. Them doing it without her. I think she's going to take it personal, like she did with Bobby. But eventually she'll forgive him. But, she kind of on the petty side when she don't get her way. And for them to take it on and try to do it themselves, I don't think Trina's going to be happy. What do you guys think? Leave it down there in the comments. Last thing on this episode, Trick gets arrested. Trick done got arrested for a DUI and damn cocaine possession. And that was like the end of the program. And I'm like, damn, Trick. So, yeah, and Joy, I said, uh-oh, Joy, I see you falling back in. I seen Joy, how Joy was worried. And I said, oh, so looks to me like Joy ain't so done with Trick. Everything happened for a reason, but damn, I wish it hadn't been that. All right, you all. So I'll catch up with you all next week. All right, later.